Graham, welcome back. I'd have thought you're absolutely delighted to be back here at the Brit Oval.
Yeah, I am. I mean, look, first time I came, I was a 10-year-old, so to come back here at the ripe old age of 39 is, it's wonderful. And obviously, I'm pleased having sort of the journey which I've had, and to actually now come back and to be able to contribute to helping Surrey out again is magnificent. And I'm pleased, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck in with it.
Was it something you'd always thought about when you retired and then went out to Australia to coach? Was it something you'd always thought about coming back to Surrey in a coaching role?
I think when you finish playing, I think the good thing what I did was to have that opportunity to go over to Australia and work. The opportunity came up, not sort of out of the blue, but it was something I didn't have a great deal of time to think about, and also then the passing of being a player and then readjusting your whole life to what are you going to sort of do next. All of a sudden I'm out there in Australia and I'm getting my hands dirty, basically working with players again. And that experience for me, I mean, we thought potentially it might be longer. As it worked out, as a family and everything, it was right to come back for us. And we spent 2 years living there, 3 seasons experience over there for me. And I think it just enabled me to develop and also to see whether I enjoyed that side of it, because ultimately when you play and when you work with players, you need passion. You need to have that passion inside which allows you to help with 100%. And I think all the experiences which I had as a player, dealing with media, the ins and outs of the game, I feel overall that I'm now a rounded person in terms of being able to help players come through. And also understanding from the young age as well, I can still put myself back as a 15, 16-year-old trying to make it and try to play for Surrey. So there's that, and then there's the whole experience of playing at the highest level as well, a county season, an international season, and also what drove me to want to get to the top. You know, and the way you have to go about yourself, the professionalism which you have to show, the time you have to put in, the sacrifices you have to put in. And if I can get back and impart that onto some of our younger Surrey players coming through, and even the ones who are up there and have played in that first team for a period of time now, to make sure they get the best out of themselves. That's really what it's about for me coming back.
How did the move come about? When was it first muted to you? Would you like to come back to Surrey in some capacity? And obviously it's now as a batting coach.
I mean, I've always, when I came back, I suppose when I came back last summer, I had an inkling that I wasn't going to be staying out in Australia for the 2-year contract which I signed over there. And I suppose in that capacity, I mean, I was at the time I spoke to Alan Butcher, I spoke to some other people at Surrey just about, where I might be able to help out, where I could best be utilised if I was going to come back and work. So, although nothing was put in concrete, I sort of thought it may be that I might be able to just work with the academy in the winter and carry on doing coaching in the country with other players as well. So from that side of it, at least I knew that I wanted to come back into coaching, and that's really how it sort of tentatively came about. But it probably took me to move back and then actually start to work out and ask the serious questions and actually put myself in a position where I was basically available if Surrey wanted me.
How's the batting coach role going to work? Because it's not just the first team you'll be working with, you'll be working down all the age groups, won't you?
Yeah, well, exactly like that. I'd imagine this winter, I mean, we'll start pretty much straight away. When the academy starts in the winter, which is twice a week, and that'll be good because it's good to go out there and see the younger players in that academy which you work with, and obviously after probably the Christmas break, some of the guys on the professional staff will come in and start working as well. So hopefully we'll just find out where the players are at, where they want to get to with their games, and what I would believe is expected of them as a batsman trying to get to the highest level. So I think that's about them understanding their games and giving them all the tools. For me, it's about letting the players have all the tools to be able to go out there and perform. Ultimately, no one can hold your hand out there when you go and play. So you also need to have a certain amount of steel and strength in your own belief about what you're doing.
In many ways, you come in at a time, Surrey looking to get back to where they were winning cricket matches. That the first team, that's what they're looking to do. Just looking at the first team batting-wise, there's a few there that you can give tips to, the Butchers and the Ramprakases, but there's a few young batsmen that are beginning to come through, and I suppose they're the ones that you'll be sitting down with and giving your experience of playing at the highest level.
Yeah, I suppose it's not dissimilar in a way to when I was at New South Wales. You had players of Simon Katich, Phil Jakes who are at the top, and they're playing for Australia. And then you had younger lads in there who were coming through. There's a Phil Hughes, there was a Pete Forrest, who are now in the New South Wales first team. So it's a similar sort of thing. We've got Mark Rampekesh, Mark Butcher, John Batty. We've got players who know their game quite well, and then we've got other guys. Scott Newman, James Benning. You've got the guys who have been in there for a little bit. How much further can we push these guys? How much can we sort of get them to raise their games to new levels as well? And then we've got younger batches of players as well coming through. So there's going to be different parts of knowledge given to all of those players as well, and also I suppose it's the younger ones as well, almost having a bit of a blueprint in terms of how do we want our batsmen to come through, what's our sort of style. I mean, I was just a believer that you had to be able to play the short ball, and you had to be able to play high quality spin bowling as well. They were the two sort of extremes for me in terms of a player getting to the top. That's sort of the two basic ingredients which a player needs. The rest is in the middle of the pot and what we can actually push our players onto. But in terms of a little blueprint which I had as a player, became the most important thing: is staying at the top and also producing very good performances.
Final question for you. Take away the fact you're back as the batting coach. It must be nice to be back at this place though, and getting back involved in the dressing room and everything, because this place inside out, upside down and backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to be back here. I come back in a way with realisation that it hasn't probably been a successful period of Surrey would have liked over the last few years. So there needs to be an edge of belief in some of our own homegrown talent as well. They've also got to be able to step up to the mark and take that as well. So I hope that Surrey can bring on some younger players as well. I'm quite passionate about being able to do that as well. But like anything, I've been able to work with many players around the world now, and I think it's great to come back and to give my knowledge to a place which I've loved and have played for my years as a cricketer. So it's all good, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's that nice feeling whenever you come through the gates of the Oval. It's always a special feeling when I came through as a player, as a young man. So to come back and to thinking that you've got an opportunity to work with young Surrey players again and the professional side of Surrey, it's a great honour again.
Thanks for your time and welcome back.
Thanks, mate.